giant whale was trapped in chains on the surface of the sea for 500 years because he accidentally ate a human fishing boat. The king was so angry that he trapped him in chains. Hundreds of years have passed, and now the whale's body has become an island. He spends his days in tears, praying to be free, until one day, a savior and a donkey came to the island. When he saw the whale in distress, he decided to help. He rode the burrow into the whale's nostrils. Once inside him, the burrow kept scratching him with his wings. The whale feels a terrible itch. His whole body starts to give out, and the huge chain starts to shake. After a sneeze, the whale is free. The man's name is Davidza. A few days ago, he rescued a white horse from the lake. What he didn't know was that this horse was no ordinary horse. He was originally a white dragon horse from the heavenly realm, but he sneaked down to earth. But he accidentally fell into the river. Luckily, Davidza appeared in time to save him. To repay Davidza's kindness, the white dragon horse turned into a donkey and decided to stay by his side. He also brought with him two good black horses, but the arrival of the black horses destroyed the wheat fields. The farmer was furious and decided to take him to task. When Davidza saw this, he mounted the donkey. The donkey ran out of the farm in a puff of smoke. It's not a donkey, it's a Lamborghini. They came to the town to trade the two black horses for some grain to make up for the loss of the farmer. But the beautiful black horses were instantly spotted by the king, who was not far away. Without saying a word, he let his men take the horses without paying a penny. Looking at Davidza's pitiful face, the donkey roared. The two black horses broke through the door. The cart lost control and the king fell into the flour, causing him to make a public spectacle of himself. To save face, he couldn't execute Davidza on the spot, so he was going to let him take the credit for killing a firebird that was attacking the soldiers in the deep desert. If he could destroy it, the king would not pursue the matter any further. Davidza had no choice but to go with the donkey to the land of the firebird. A fire phoenix was caught in a chain. The man was going to take it back and present it to the king. The poor phoenix begs him to let him go and sheds a tear of sadness. He was able to catch the fierce firebird because the donkey was very clever. Rumor has it that the firebird loves nuts. Once eaten, the firebird would go limp and lose its strength. They buried the nuts in the sand. Not long after, the sand ahead of them suddenly lit up with a red light. Before Davidza can react, a flame rises from the ground. It was a fire phoenix with flaming feathers, not a turkey. It rises up into the sky, and its beautiful form cuts through the night sky. It slowly landed on the ground. Seeing the nuts on the ground, it's instantly excited. It gracefully stretches out its claws, grabs the nuts and throws them up into the sky. Then it flaps its wings, opens its mouth and swallows the nut with its shell. Tempted by the food, it eats more and more. Suddenly the nuts took effect, and it began to feel weak and fainted on the ground. The next day, the fire phoenix was locked up in the iron net. Looking at the poor phoenix even shed tears. Davidza is a little heartbroken and opened the iron net on its body. The phoenix was reborn as if it was in a state of nirvana. In order to thank its savior, it left a feather of its own to keep the man safe in times of crisis. Since Davidza failed to capture the fire phoenix, the king was ready to kill him immediately. Although Davidza produced the feather to prove herself, it was of no use. Just when the king ordered Davidza to be beheaded, the feather burned. Sensing Davidza's danger, the fire phoenix appeared in time and landed on the top of the tower. The crowd was shocked by this scene and kept shouting that Davidza was a hero. The king had no choice but to keep his promise and give Davidza his title. But the king had no intention of letting him go. He ordered Davidza to go to the distant snowy mountains to bring back the snow princess. With the help of a donkey, they soon reached the top of the mountain, and there was an icy door that they couldn't enter. Just then, the phoenix's feathers came to life and drove right through the ice door. The next second, the heavy door was melted in an instant. He met the legendary snow princess and used the feather to wake her up. Looking at the handsome Davidza in front of her, she decided to go with Davidza before asking who she was going to marry. Davidza successfully brought the princess back to the palace, but the king still refused to give up. He ordered Davidza to go again and slaughter a man-eating whale in the deep sea. A huge whale was chained to the surface. He's been trapped here for 500 years because he accidentally ate a local fisherman. He spends his days in tears, longing to be free again, but the king has no intention of letting him go and sends Davidza to wipe out the whale. When Davidza saw him, he felt compassion and decided to free him himself. He mounted his favorite donkey and rode it straight up the whale's nostril. Once inside him, the burrow's wings began to scratch his nostrils. The sensation was too much for the whale to bear. His whole body began to burst into flames, and a sneeze erupted like a volcano. The chains on his body were broken. Davidza and the donkey are also spewed out. With this, the whale is finally out of trouble and back in the depths of the sea. To thank Davidza for saving his life, he asked a crab to send him a ring as a thank you gift. When they returned to the kingdom, the king seeing that he had not accomplished his mission, decided to put Davica on public trial. They found 3 cauldrons. The first was boiling water, the second pot was seawater that could freeze a man into an ice sculpture, and the third pot was laced with poisonous milk. If Davica passes all the 3 tests, the king will release him and betroth him to the princess. Then the king pushed Davica into the boiling hot water. The princess took off her ring and threw it into the pot. Davica made it through the first level. When he got to the second level, he was instantly frown-seen in the cauldron. At that moment, the feathers of the fire phoenix flew into the cauldron. Davica immediately broke through the ice and completed the second level. He came to the third level. The steaming iron pot is at least 8,000 degrees. When everyone saw this, they thought Davica was dead, and the princess shed tears of sadness. Just as they were about to leave, a white light suddenly appeared in the sky. A dandelion slowly fell down. In a flash, Davica came back to life. The donkey had run to the end of the world and found the flower of God, which controls life and death. The king wanted to try it too, but he wasn't so lucky. He was trapped in a giant bubble and floated away. Davica was loved by his people and became the new king and lived happily ever after with the princess.